A clown girl breaks into your computer and teaches you how to make visual novels. For April Fool's Day 2025, Arimia, that is the death of the game, for some reason decided to make an actual game where Rimia teaches you how to actually make visual novels. This guide is intended for beginners. Yes! This will actually teach you things. Hello and welcome, Lynx here, and today, as someone who plays a lot of visual novels, we are going to play another visual novel, of course, but this one will teach us about making visual novels. Not like I plan to make one, but hey, I don't mind learning a little bit. The game comes from Arimia, by the way, whose actual game dev account is Crystal Gameworks, who made Dahlia, for example. Dahlia was something we played. And also who contributed to Studio Elan's Which You Want, which we also played. But yeah, let's get to it and let's learn a little bit about making those games. I do believe I played something about making visual novels like very long time ago. So, in a way, not an alien topic, but then again, I don't really know anything about making VNs. So yeah, let's get to it.
Hello! Welcome to my soapbox! You sign up for visual novel runs, and now you're stuck with me for the next however long. Who am I? I'm Rimia, the cutest clown in the world and definitely not a visual novel addict. That's right, Lynx also is not a visual novel addict, obviously. It's not like he played on his channel like over 800 or maybe even 9.
It might be 900 at this point. Let me have a look.
Over 900 games, yeah. Which basically 900 probably was visual novels, but whatever. Anyway, today I'm going to yap about visual novels and there's nothing you can do to stop me.
I mean, technically, there are two ways to do that. 1, close the game. 2, not watch that video any longer. Don't do any of that. Please.
So pick a topic and let's dive in.
Wow. That's a lot. Alright, save the game. Choices might be important. Probably not, but whatever. I'm also a save the game addict, so yeah. What are visual novels? Am I the only one who is bothered by not using capital letters for that? I mean, you technically use capital letters for game jams, so why not visual novels as well? But then again, also it bothers me when you don't go anime with capital letter, manga with capital letter, and so... Anyway, whatever.
What are visual novels? What a philosophical question. As defined by Wikipedia...
Oh no, literally the worst source. But I guess Encyclopedia would not have the definition, right? I wonder.
They're a combination of narratives delivered through text with illustrations and varying degrees of interactivity. This definition can be vague, and in reality, visual novels comprise of a lot of things. They're games that can also have basically no gameplay.
Yeah. In a way, I see visual novels as both games and I guess books in a way. Comics. Manga. I guess in a way all of that can apply, right? But hey, if you actually include some sort of gameplay into a VN, nice. First example that comes to my mind at least. Sunrider. Because, well, there was some strategy gaming, I guess. But then again, there are also like RPG games, I guess, which you can consider visual novels as well. You know, visual novel with RPG elements in general. Yeah. I guess there is a lot of options. By RPG, I mean, what we played not long ago, Legacy of Hestia, right? That was visual novel, but it also had the dungeon crawling. Anyhow.
Some visual novels don't even have choices!
Yes, kinetic novels.
Those are a subgenre called linear or kinetic novels, by the way.
I knew it.
A lot of game mediums nowadays also incorporate visual novels features, namely the text book and character portraits, but aren't visual novel themselves.
True. Some of the gacha games, like Genshin Zenless. I'm guessing like Wuthering Waves also is the same. I'm guessing. I don't know anything about Wuthering Waves, okay? I want to play it, but I just can't, like, fit it anywhere.
So it is a visual novel. My definition is that it's a story-focused game that delivers the story through text on screen, where the reading takes up at least half of the game and is the focus.
I guess so.
If it has a lot of reading, but the reading is secondary to the gameplay mechanic, then it's either a visual novel hybrid or just a different type of game that incorporates visual novel aspects.
Makes sense.
Furthermore, visual novels are a marriage between visuals and novels.
Okay. I mean, in a way, what I said, kind of books, right?
If there is no image on screen, or only a handful of them, but not a focus, then it's probably interactive fiction rather than a visual novel.
Huh. Okay. Alright, hear me out on this one. What if the protagonist would be blind? And because of that you don't have any images? Then is it a visual novel or interactive fiction? You don't see anything on the screen, there is just text for you to read. And maybe even hear, technically, because there is option of voiceover, right? But is it that or that in this situation? I bet I'm dropping some hard questions to answer, but whatever.
Interactive fiction is a very similar medium to visual novels, but the focus is on the narrative rather than combining art and writing.
Okay. I get it. I understand this, kind of. I feel like we would need to jump into, like, I don't know, Steam or whatever, and basically drop examples of those games. To, you know, actually show the difference, but hey.
Speaking of artwork, while visual novels originated in Japan,
Hell yeah.
and the majority are anime style,
Hell yeah.
visual novels can be in any art style.
Technically, yes, I guess. For not gonna lie, some of these styles kind of don't fit. Like, I mentioned this before, like I kinda don't like the... It's liking or not liking. It's still a visual novel, but I don't really like the sort of style where they try to make characters look like real life. Like, it's kinda not my thing. But I guess it's still a visual novel technically. Even though I would still like kind of kicked it out from that category with pleasure. Anyway.
It doesn't matter if it's semi-realistic.
Yeah, but realistic is annoying. It should not be there, kind of. I would kick it out from there.
Cartoony or even watercolors.
Watercolors. Okay.
Visual novels can have any art style.
Oh, maybe that's why I would not count it into visual novels. Because you see any art style. And when the characters are completely realistic, it doesn't feel like art style. At least in my eyes. Anywho.
Visual novels can be any kind of art style, but did you know there is different types of formats too?
Okay, what do you mean by that?
There is 3 main ways for displaying the story for visual novels.
Oh, you mean
ADV, NVL, and speech bubbles.
Okay, speech bubbles I understand. What's ADV and NVL? Whoa.
ADV, which is short for adventure, is the standard format for visual novels. It's where the text box is the bottom of the screen, like what you're reading now.
Okay. Give me a second. Now I need to check those games. I'm a pain. Okay? I need to check those games. I'm 100% sure the bottom 2 will be Otome, so not my interest, but hey. Okay, Of the Devil, a free game on Steam. Dude, it was even released recently, February, by Nth Circle Studios. Alright, I have this in the library already, by the way, obviously. Because I'm a pain and I actually look at the games like every day, looking at new releases, blah blah blah. Okay, add to games in queue. Remove from not installed. Alright. By the way, games in queue 266 at the moment. Oh boy. Twofold. What's this? Ooh, that one is expensive. It's 91.99 in Poland. By Studio Elan. Okay. I would like to know the price in other currencies. Let's see. Euro. 1950 euro. Okay. And that is also $19.99. I mean, technically, if you think about it, it's not really expensive, but $91.99 in Poland. I would say that's a lot for a game in Poland, at least. Yeah. Not terrible. Like, I would buy it if I didn't have anything else to play, sort of thing. But then again, Studio Elan guys, they'll release fantastic games. We did play quite a few of them. The Waters Above. And on Steam nothing really else, but they also released quite a few on itch. Absolutely worth checking out. Go do it. Fine, I'll check what exactly did I... Studio Elan itch. What exactly I played for them. From them. Let's see. Which you want, which I technically mentioned already. Upwards Rain, the Post Office of Farewells, that was fun. On Wings Bringing Sleep, Yuri Paddle. Have I played anything else? I think that might have been all of them. Yeah. I want to play Highway Blossoms. I do believe I have it for. Yeah, I totally have it. Alright, let's check the other games. Color Malice. Honestly, I don't know what... Oh, it's not on Steam. Okay. Where is it then? Color Malice. It's on Switch, iOS, Vita, and Android. Okay. It's Otome! I knew it! I knew it! I could tell from the picture! And Mamiya. Mamiya! It's also on Steam. Oh, this one I was mistaken about? It's not Otome? No way. But there is dudes over here. Oh, there is a maid girl. Group of young men struggling in existential dread before the end of the world. What? Dark mystery visual novel. Apocalyptic adventure. 20 endings. Oof. 8 years in the making, indie creator Kento Land's solo-developed masterpiece now here. Solo. Damn. Published by Fruitbat Factory. That's a good publisher as well, by the way. Alright. Let's get back to it. Apparently I have Mamiya as well wishlisted. Anywho.
The textbooks can take up part of the screen like mine, or cover the full bottom of the screen.
True. Yeah, you have like a box, but sometimes it's like in the Mamiya over here, like covering the entire... Okay.
But the main point is that they're anchored to the bottom.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. I feel like this started being a thing at some point, right? But before that, it was like entire screen. I might be mistaken, but because I have not really read through that. But I think Fate was like that, covering entire screen, right? But am I mistaken? But yeah, there were visual novels. I played a few of them as well, where the text covered entire screen. So I'm guessing it might be that other type. That will be the entire screen thing. Anyway.
When games like RPGs use visual novel features, it's usually presented like this. It's a solid format for delivering text to the reader.
Oh, there we go. You just switched, didn't you? Yeah.
NVL, which is short for novel, is where the text box covers part or most of the screen. Hey, we just swapped to that, didn't we?
Told ya. Fate stay night. I knew it. Yo. Haven't read it. I've seen the screenshots for, and I remembered. Umineko when they cry. Umineko, man. Oh, that's also something I want to play so bad. Umineko. And speaking of, alongside Umineko, of course, Higurashi. Yeah, anywho. Is Higurashi also entire screen, or is it... Yeah, it's entire screen. It looks like it. Okay. Asphodelium. It's Otome, isn't it? Is it Otome? It's totally Otome, right? Isn't it? No, it's even... Okay, it's Yaoi. Alright. Not my kind of territory. Canvas Menagerie. Also looks like it might be Yaoi. 135,000 words. Yeah, something about boys as well. Alright. Again, not my territory. But hey, go check it out if you're into that stuff.
While we're here, see how much text you can put on the screen with NVL mode? It's best for wordy writers and...
I guess true.
And introspective characters. You can really pack a lot of narration this way. Now that's out of the way, you can see some of the examples for it better. It's not uncommon for games to mix the two styles. ADV is great for dialogue, and NVL is great for lengthy narration.
Yeah. True. Probably, yeah.
You can see that NVL mode doesn't have to cover the entire screen.
Yeah, but it's not like, let's say, the bottom 30% of the screen, right? I don't know, 25-30%, I'm guessing is... why do I not remember the ADV and NVL is basically more than that. Got it. Anywho.
You can even see that NVL mode doesn't have to cover the entire screen. Some visual novels use NVL mode that only covers half of the screen and use the other half to emphasize visuals.
Okay. To be fair, I kind of like how it's, I believe, might be made in Canvas Menagerie. Like, it's technically entire half of the screen, but, you know, the guy on the side is there still visible. And it's not sort of behind the blocks. Kinda like that. Anyway.
The third type is less common.
True.
Which is speech bubbles. It's similar to comic books where characters will have speech bubbles pop up while they're talking.
Please be happy. What's that? If it's on Steam, I would not be surprised if it was on my wish list for. Please be... It is absolute... Is this Studio Elan again? It is. Oh, they seem to make... Okay, so they make... This is a mix a little bit, I would say. Because I see that there are speech bubbles, right? But there is also the text at the bottom part of the screen. And sometimes even it's mixed together. Okay, I mean, makes sense. Narration at the bottom, and when someone speaks, it's in a bubble. Yeah. I like that. Anyway.
You'll often see ADV used as well when...
I just said that, didn't I?
Are being used as it's easier to deliver narration in a larger text box than in bubbles.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
Combining these styles is a great way to vary the scene direction and keep readers invested. Huh, what else? We discussed how walking sims are in visual novels.
Okay.
That VNs don't have to be anime.
Yeah.
And NVL mode is the superior mode.
Fair enough.
Oh, let's cover some misconceptions. Visual novels have been around for decades now, but they're still a niche, with several misconceptions about them.
Why do I feel like I know what misconception you might be thinking about? Because a lot of them are also dating sims, right?
First, not every visual novel has sexual content. Got it? There's plenty of safe for work and non-18 plus visual novels out there. You're reading one right now.
Hell yeah.
Second, not every visual novel is a dating sim.
True.
And not every visual novel has to be about romance.
True.
Dating sims are a type of visual novel focused on that stat raising with romance in mind.
I mean, there is not always the stats raising, but yeah.
Third, not every visual novel has multiple endings.
True.
Some don't even have choices.
Yes, we already mentioned kinetic novels.
Visual novels can have wildly branching storylines and can also be completely linear. Fourth, not every visual novel has to be super hours long.
True. I mean, I played a lot like short ones.
Just because someone can reread you Umineko twice in a year doesn't mean every visual novel has to be 120 plus hours long.
I agree with that. 120 hours long. I mean, if you think about it, a game like that, it's basically a game I'll be playing for 120 days. Maybe even more. Considering I kind of jump between like half an hour mark videos. Sometimes going over an hour, but yeah, anyway. Actually, I'm mistaken. 120 hours long, but... So 120 episodes, but I would not be reading if that's the case. I would say if I'm reading all of that, it's going to be like 180 hours. I think you can count basically like additional half of the time. Anywho.
There is even game jams focused on making super short visual novels.
Yes.
But we can talk about that in the game jam sections. Section. Fifth, people who like visual novels actually like reading.
Yes.
You don't have to cram mini games into it to keep people interested.
True, but on the other hand, it's also actually quite fun to see some mini games and so on.
Rely on your story and your visuals.
Yes, do that. To be fair, especially with itch.io, when I browse through itch.io as well, right, I go new releases and so on. My focus is on the thumbnail of the game. Because, let's be honest, browsing itch.io is rough, okay? If you wanted to browse through and see exactly every single game, I don't know even how long it would take you. Even if you were trying to look at that every single evening, right? Which technically I do, but I pay attention basically to the thumbnails. So yes, visuals are important there. And it's not just visual novels, by the way. Yeah. You've seen me playing some horror games as well, I guess. But yeah, anyway. But yeah, within the game as well, obviously. Visuals important, story important. And I actually like having some mini games. I'm not gonna lie, I like that.
Lastly, visual novels are the medium, not the genre.
I guess.
A visual novel can be anything you want it to be. A horror game in a realistic art style or unrealistic art style. A slice of life comic of age story, anything.
Okay. Makes sense. You know, I've always seen visual novel as a genre as well, I guess. But maybe it is a medium in the end. Yeah. Because then again, it can be of a horror type and so on. Anywho.
So have fun with it. Got any more questions?
Yes. Artwork. Wow, we've been at it for half an hour. We only covered one thing. Oof. That will be a long video, I feel like.
Ooh, artwork! There is so much variety in visual novels and so many ways you can tackle the art direction. Like I mentioned before, visual novels can be any art style, no matter if you draw cartoons, realistic artwork, take photos.
Oh, I know the photos one. I know, ATP Projects does that.
You can make it into a visual novel. Because of that, there is a variety of mediums you can use for your art. But before we get to that, let's go over some terminology. A character sprite, or sprite for short, is the standing character artwork you see that has different expressions. I am currently a character sprite.
Yeah, I knew that.
Character sprites can be headshots, half bodies, full bodies, wherever you choose to end it.
I feel like however it is over here is the most common. And also the most, I feel like, sort of, should I say comfortable with seeing? You know, like full body kinda sort of throws me off, if that makes sense. Whoa. That's a good CG, by the way.
A CG, which is short for character graphic, cutscene graphic, computer graphic, U2s, is an illustration used for special events. These sometimes have different expressions, but aren't usually reused in a story.
Alright, usually true. Usually, yeah. Aren't reused at all? A different story, I guess.
You'll want to use CGs where they're most impactful, like an important moment for a character, or to highlight something special. Here is a CG of me at Halloween! Boop!
Also, I noticed some of the text is getting out of the text box over here. Anywho.
A PG, which is short for background, is whatever is behind the character. It's a visual representation of wherever you're at. Right now I'm in a sparkly void.
Okay. Okay.
But that could be from the trailers or the movie set. The background informs the player of the location and helps establish the setting and tone. Sometimes these are drawn and sometimes these are edited photos, like this lovely bedroom. I used Photo Sketcher to create some of the effects seen here.
Photo Sketcher. Photo Sketcher. It's a 100% free program. Let's go. Create beautiful works of art from your digital photos. Oh. Okay. That seems very interesting. I need to bookmark that thing.
The UI or GUI stands for the user interface or graphical user interface. It's what you're reading from right now. The GUI also includes the other menus like the save load menu, which Lynx loves to overuse, the settings and more. The font use, the spacing of buttons, the layout of text, that's a part of the interface. Having a readable GUI is very important for good user experience. If your visual novel is cumbersome to read, then your entire game is a chore.
I guess.
Art direction refers to the way the VM looks at how the vision is executed, while scene direction refers to the combination of artwork and programming. For example, a CG having sparkles over it for romance scene is the art direction, but the CG slowly panning up to reveal a kiss is the scene direction. Now, how do you actually make the art for a visual novel? Sadly, I can't teach you how to draw. You have to learn it on your own or find an artist to help you make your idea come to life. But we can go over some basics. For one, resolutions or image sizes. You typically want to draw your character sprites, CGs and BGs bigger than the resolution of your game.
Okay.
Whoa! I'm actually this size normally, but my sprite is shrunk down so I feel better on screen. When your artwork is larger than the screen size, you're able to do a lot more with it, such as zooming in and out, moving it around more. Most visual novels nowadays are 920 or 1080.
I mean, that's the maximum I can see anyway, technically.
But you can make one in any size if you want. If you want to port a visual novel for consoles, all of the assets will need to be 4K resolution. Good luck!
Consoles, 4K, really?
Really?
Okay.
For making artwork, you can use any art software you have. Clip Studio is what I use. But there is also free alternatives.
Oh, Clip Studio is not free? Ah, I didn't mean to click. What was it? Clip Studio. Clip Studio. Oh, I've seen that. Yeah. I've seen that. I think I've seen that with people using tablets and so on for drawing. They used Clip Studio a lot. Yeah. Not like it's something for me, I guess. Fire Alpaca. It's crazy. I love that name actually. Okay. Medibank. Wait, I thought Medibank was like a games publisher. What? Are they also... Wait, they also have their own software for like artworks and so on? That's crazy. Oh yeah, they do both game localization and manga localization. Alright, you know what? Maybe I should not be surprised about them having a software for artworks. Krita. Never heard that name before. Alright.
And more. You can even use MS Paint if you wanted to. Hoo-hoo.
MS Paint, right. I mean, I bet some people are talented enough to do something in there.
There is even visual novels like Slay the Princess, where all the art is drawn on physical paper and then scanned in.
Wait, they did that for Slay the Princess? Damn! Okay, that's amazing. That's also one of the games I need to play sometime in the future. Who knows when that's gonna happen.
Some people edit photos for the character art NPGs, which can be done in any photo art editing with software. Like I mentioned before, I use Photo Sketcher to filter my photos.
I guess GIMP, right? Don't use Adobe. Adobe is an evil company, guys. Don't use Adobe for anything. That's me saying that. Don't.
Character sprites need to be transparent, which means no background. That way they can fit onto any background in-game.
Speaking of Adobe, I mean, they also do like video editing software, right? I've never gotten into it. Like I tried it. I think it's garbage to like learn and so on. But from what I've seen, they also switched to. It's been a long time ago. They switched to like subscription type of thing instead of purchasing a software, like, which is ridiculous, by the way. Switching to subscription for software, ridiculous behavior. But apparently they also charge you a fee for canceling the subscription. Like, dude, like, really, why do people go into Adobe? Like, stop. Technically, you don't even need to, like, cancel the subscription, just... I guess you could block the ability to make any transfer from your account to Adobe. Right? But, okay, you know what, that's not the topic for today.
A popular way of drawing character sprites is by making them layered, where their expressions and sometimes outfits and poses are on all separate layers and can easily be interchanged.
True.
If you've ever seen a VTuber model before it's rigged, it's like that, but a little less complex.
I don't really care here. We are talking visual novels, not some VTubers. Come on.
However, for this project, I'm just separating images. Go with what suits your work style and time frame best.
I mean, I get it. Like, right now here, yeah? Winking, not winking. Yeah, the difference. Writing.
You can't have visual novel without the novel, that's for sure.
I would like someone to try doing that for now. Try to make a visual novel without being the novel, that's all. Try.
The writing portion of the game is just as important as the art. As mentioned before, visual novels can have branching paths or can be entirely linear.
True.
A linear visual novel is one without choices. For some people, consider VNs to be linear if there is only one ending.
Yeah?
Regardless of the choices in the story.
I guess... I mean, if there is no other outcome, it's sort of linear. Sort of. No, you know what? No. If the choices lead to something else across the path, I know, instead of going to school, you go to, I don't know, cinema for the day. Yeah, that makes it not linear. Anyway.
Choices in visual novels can make whatever you want it to mean for the plot. It can be as frivolous or as important as you decide for it to be. A choice can be tied to interactivity such as player customizing their protagonist.
Okay, that would be nice. But I feel like in most of them, customization is basically giving the name, that's it.
Or it can be something like what character to pursue in a romance.
Yeah.
It could be choosing what flavor of ice cream to order at a restaurant.
Yeah.
Or it can be the difference between comforting or ignoring a character.
Yes.
Have you noticed my dialogue changes depending on what I've already talked about?
Is that so? Is that true? I wonder. If I chose a different option to talk about and not going one by the other, I wonder if it would be different now.
Choices don't change much are called flavor choices. It's like the flavor of the ice cream I just mentioned. It won't change the ending, but it's a fun little choice.
Please someone make a visual novel where, you know, you have crazy hard choices and then you just have a choice of flavor of ice cream and make it so just choosing the different flavor makes the different ending. Oh my god, please do it now. Someone.
Some choices, like in dating sims and other stat raisers, allow the player to select what scene to see, such as which character to spend the day with. Other choices route the player into different paths that cut off what kind of endings they can receive, like choosing to be with one character over another, or making a mad wolf in a fight and dying in a dead end.
We don't like that. Oh, we don't like that. I wonder how many times in a VN I've actually made a wrong choice. Have had a bad end and basically had to reload the game. Yeah. And that then cut out the dead end from the video. To be fair, there is a game, I think it was called Bad End, right? Where it's all about bad endings. And I have it. Dude, I'm talking about the game that was released in 2015, by the way. And I still have not played it. Dadio, I blame you for that, okay? Because I'm not touching my Steam library enough.
Speaking of the ends, there's a few different types of endings in visual novels. For most are pretty self-explanatory. A good end is an ending that's good, while a bad end is an ending that's bad.
Also, I guess it might depend on perspective.
This can be somewhat subjective depending on the content.
Like, I've had one game which I absolutely hated the protagonist of, and to me the supposed bad end was like a perfect end. Yeah, I didn't want that character to get a good ending at all. It was a certain Russian visual novel. It was so bad. So bad. And the protagonist was so trash. Anyway.
A dead end is an ending where the player dies.
Yeah.
Fate Stay Night is a popular example of visual novel with plenty of dead ends.
Wait, is it?
A true ending is the intended ending for visual novels when there is multiple endings.
Okay.
This is the most common in otome games and other type of romance games where a character might have multiple endings. Some games even have true endings that can only be reached by getting several other endings beforehand.
True. That's where the control button comes in very handy.
I mentioned the word otome before, so let's talk about some of the genre types specific to visual novels. Most of these are loan words from Japanese.
Yeah.
Otome or otoge is a maiden's game, a type of romance VN where a female player character romances male love interests.
Which is, well, not my territory. For I did play some, I guess.
A love interest, L.I.
Okay.
Isn't a character in game that can be romanced. This means that if you spend time with them, the scenes will be romantic in nature, and the game usually culminates in love confession or a kiss. Nowadays, otome has expanded to include customizable protagonists and some non-male love interests, but
Okay.
But the basis for romance is still there.
But that makes it a mix of Otome and Yuri then, right?
Gulch? Gulch?
Gulch. That might be the first time I've heard that.
Or Bishoujo game is the opposite. It's a romance visual novel where you play as a boy and can romance girls.
That's my territory.
Those words are often used outside the visual novel context, but we do use some that are, such as Yuri.
Okay, that's also my territory. I play those.
To refer to girls dating girls.
Yeah.
And boys love to refer to boys dating boys.
I stay away from those.
And Eroge is an erotic game. Basically, it's any game with sexual content, regardless if it's the focus or not. Nukiga are games where that is a primary focus.
Okay.
Right now you're reading an EVN, English visual novel. Or for you old school people like me, an OELVN, original English language visual novel.
Oof.
That just means the visual novel originally made in English. A GVN is a visual novel originally made in Japanese. Canon is now playable on Steam in English.
Oh yeah, I know that. Something I need to play.
But it's still a GVN despite being translated because it's dependent on what language it was originally released in.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah. Obvious.
Let's see. That's more terminology and a quick overview on choices. How about story structures? There's much more in-depth guides out there or how to write games that I encourage you to check out, as I can only cover basics here.
We are for the basics here.
If you want to make something like a romance game with multiple love interests, then you will need to consider your root structure. Most romance visual novels are set around the root structure. It begins with a common root, a segment of the story that plays at the beginning of every root.
True. The common root is sometimes so tricky for... Yeah, because... I think it's especially for the lengthy games. Common root is something I feel like you don't really want to replay, right? But the tricky part is, you must make all the right choices to not replay it. And, you know, when the common route ends, from there to be able to move to every other route. Yeah. Anyway. Well, unless one common route will not have choices, then it's kind of easier, but it usually has. Anywho.
The common route allows players to get to know the love interest just enough before making a decision on who to romance.
Not always. Not always.
The actual route divergence can be determined by a stat check to...
But what if the game doesn't have the stats? Or at least visible stats? Anyway.
To see which character the player has spent the most time with, or it can come down to a simple choice of which character to pursue.
Yeah, but again, what if you made some choices that will lock a character out of the option, right? Alright, we are covering the basics. I'm trying to get into more detailed things here, I guess, but anyway.
After that, the player will spend time with the character whose route they're on. A route is a storyline focus on a specific character or plotline. Once you start adding choices to VNs, it can get convoluted fast. Don't be afraid to remake outlines and get granular with them. An outline is a simple overview of your story structure. It can be something like a complex flowcharts or simple bullet points. Getting beta readers and friends to bounce ideas off of can be incredibly helpful in the early stages. I think that's enough for a basic overview on writing. If you want to see more in-depth guides on visual novel writing, check out some of the talks from VNConf.
Is it clickable? It is clickable. Let's go. Oh, it's YouTube. Okay. Guys, just Google visual conference and I guess you will find what is over here. 188 videos. Huh. Alright.
An online conference for VNs. Any more questions?
Heck yeah. Audio. Oh, please talk to me about audio. Please. My devs, you need to look into audio so much. I mean, I say you need to. You don't really need to, right? You need to make it work, obviously. But me, as someone who edits, or more like records the videos and edits them, I so wish all the like audio, especially, basically I mean music by that. I wish all the audio was like basically on equal volume. And by that I mean like different music being used. I feel like in a lot of cases, like one song is super low, and then another like booms to the top or whatever. Yeah. But then again, I know that audio is a pain to work with, basically, so I kind of understand. Anyway.
Oh, the audio part of the visual novels. Why, it's not in the title, it is still pretty important to the experience.
Yeah. But then again, like, I feel for me, the audio in VNs is a pain because, again, I have to deal with it also when editing the video. Ugh.
In the early 2000s, lots of visual novels were called sound novels in Japan.
Oh, interesting.
They would even write it out in English to call their works that. For visual novels, we have a few different types of audio. Music is the most obvious. It's what sets the audio stage for the game.
Yeah, it's the biggest pain for me. Again, because editing videos.
BGM or background music is the music that plays in the background.
Yeah, okay, that also kind of, I guess, gets in the way, yeah. BGM and music in general. Anyway.
Right now there's background track playing.
Yeah, I can hear it. It's nice and super comfy.
It's called Blooming in Spring Color, composed by Shintone on Dova S. Sound effects, or SFX, are the special sounds that happen from time to time, such as door opening, crowd clapping, and more.
Mm-hmm.
Do you hear that? It sounds like a page flipping.
What? No, I don't. Oh, I did. Wait a second. Preferences. Must be here. Now it should be. Yep. Now I heard it.
Foley is any audio that's not BGM but might loop, such as the sounds of crackling fireplace or a clock ticking.
Cicadas, I'm guessing. Cicadas.
Voice acting is exactly what I think it is. It's people voicing the characters. Which doesn't happen in this game. Full voice acting means that every piece of dialogue is voiced for the game. Sometimes this does include narration, and only includes spoken words.
I hope it stays that way. Leave the narration to me. At least that much.
Partial voice acting... Wait...
I don't like this one.
Partial voice acting is where only specific scenes are voiced or only a few words are voiced, such as grunts.
Okay, the grunts are alright.
This can be quick phrase that's reused, such as, oh no!
I don't like this part. The grunts, okay, it can be like that. But I actually don't like partial voice acting. Yeah, I actually am not a fan of that one. I prefer either full or no at all. Unless that supposed partial is basically just... not the words you would speak, but some, you know, some weird noises you would make. I guess, like, someone screaming because of being frightened, that's alright. But, you know, let's say you have what is written over here right now, right? Basically. And what she would be saying be like,
partial voice acting,
and stops at that. That's something I would not like. I don't like. Anywho.
Although you can direct your own voice actors, it's recommended to work with voice directors.
Okay.
They sit in on voice actor sessions and give them feedback so the line deliveries will be the best they can be.
Aren't we going like really fancy then?
Audio mixing
Oof.
is where a person edits all of the audio to make it sound better together, including making all of the audio play at similar volume levels.
This is literally what I was speaking about. Heck yeah. That's literally what I was speaking about.
Have you ever watched a movie where the BGM was louder than the people talking? And you couldn't hear it?
Yes.
That means there wasn't time for them to do a proper audio mixing.
That doesn't necessarily mean there wasn't time. Sadly. But, you know.
For music, there is plenty of free music to use websites out there, so...
Oh, okay. Let's get this. Give me the links. Free BGM songs, all for the download. Anyone can use it free of charge. Regardless of usage, commercial... Okay. Oh my god. Yo, you say that used for games. I might be able to use it for videos. And free sound. Free sound... I think I might have gotten some sounds out of this. I think I have one more for you. Wait, do I have it saved up? No, I don't. I have just free, like, PNGs and so on. But there was one more. Wait a second. I will find it. Or maybe I won't. Damn it. Free sound effects. Oh, Pixabay. Yeah, that's the one. They have a lot of royalty-free sound effects, so, you know, if you need something, I mean, you can check that out as well, I guess. Here you go. I'm providing you something as well, if you want to make VN.
There's also sites like Free Sound. Yeah, anyway. Voice acting and audio direction are both individual fields with a lot of intricacies to them that I can't really go over here, but they're good to keep in mind for your VNs. Want to talk about some VNs now?
Sure. Engines. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so we are in the middle of the topics, and we are an hour in. Okay. Also, me talking a little bit as well probably extended the timing. Engines. Obviously Ren'Py. That's probably like the main thing for visual novels. Some people make visual novels in Unity. Some of them make it in RPG Maker technically as well. What else? Let me think. Is Unreal Engine also a thing? Does anyone do visual novels in that? Maybe. For I honestly can't think of a game that was made in that. Ren'Py, Unity, RPG Maker. I mean, I guess for the browsers as well. But I think it's... I think itch.io can somehow run Ren'Py in it. And you can play that in a browser, basically. I don't know. Nothing else comes to my mind. So again, Ren'Py for sure. RPG Maker, I believe, because I've seen visual novels made in that. Unity as well, for sure. I think maybe Unreal Engine as well, but I can't like come up with a single title made in that I would remember. Alright, let's get into it.
Visual novels are pieces of software which means we need software to make them. While Japanese VNs use software like
Tyranno Builder, I know this one as well.
Nscripter,
I've never heard of this one.
and Tyranno Builder, we have a variety of engines available in English.
Nscripter. Okay, it seems like Umineko might have been done in this one. Oh, wait. Alright, like SteamDB coming in clutch, showing the games made in it. Okay, no Aces. Oh, Narciso was made in it. Oh my god, Narciso is so good. I so love that game. Umineko, Lily Tales, The Princess, and many more. Actually, not that many. Supposedly only 32 entries, and including the demos as well. Interesting. What about Tyranno? I know Tyranno Builder. It has like a little icon with a green, like a dino girl or girl in a dino suit, sort of. Yeah. What has been done in you? Tyranno Builder. Oh, it's literally available on Steam as well. For 53.99 of Polish currency. So divide by 4 basically for euro or dollars or whatever. Okay. Anywho.
The most popular is Ren'Py,
Told you.
which is what I mean right now. It's a free and open source engine that's powered by Python. Thousands of visual novels have been made with it.
Yeah, I believe that.
With over a decade worth of work and documentation put into it, it's by far the most robust engine available in English. Unity is the most popular game engine out there, but do you know it has visual novel frameworks for it?
Yes, I did. I prefer to see games in Ren'Py for... Yeah. Definitely.
Nani novel.
Oh, I know this one as well. I forgot.
It's one of the currently popular frameworks for Unity.
For you... Wait, what? Oh, it's a framework for... Okay.
Specifically for visual novels, but there are several others such as Fungus.
Never heard of this one.
Other engines like VN Maker,
Okay.
Tyranno Builder,
Okay.
Twine,
Never heard.
Light VN,
RPG Maker. See, told you.
RPG Maker, and more are also releases for VNs that have English community support. Because visual novels are games, they require programming. Some require more programming knowledge than others like Unity, while others are very big and friendly like Ren'Py.
Go into Ren'Py. It's the best one. I don't care. It's the best one. It's also the best one to play in, to be honest.
Ren'Py is so easy to use. This is what this section looks like.
Oh, this one right now. Label engines, see engines true, quick menu true, show Rimia question, okay. Piece of software while Japanese. Okay, so you drop one line while Japanese. Then you drop that she's supposed to change her expression, let's say, so basically a different PNG of hers appears. And then you drop another line, then switch again. I guess, okay, so show Rimia point must be the, you know, finger up or whatever. The bounce must be an animation, I'm guessing. Okay. Yeah, it must be that animation, the little bounce.
Be sure to look into multiple engines before committing to one.
I'm sure I would go Ren'Py.
Now, do you have any other questions?
Heck yeah, I do. I need to check everything, obviously. Game dev basics.
Making visual novels means you're doing game development, so we should talk about some aspects of indie game dev. First off, if you're reading this, then chances are you're getting into indie game dev.
Or you are just me and you're making a video out of this little game. But hey, maybe someone who runs into this video will be like, I want to make a visual novel. So that would be awesome. If you do that, you better tell me about that visual novel you're making. Or maybe you made it. You tell me about it.
It's when you're making a game by yourself or with a small team with little to no outside funding, such as large publisher or investor. Similarly, in Japan this is called the doujin scene.
Yeah.
Doujin basically means indie.
Yep.
So indie games over there are typically called doujinware or doujinji. At the end of the day, we're all in the same boat.
True. I feel like a lot of like people outside of Japan would not know that the doujin basically is indie. I bet that doujin basically to everyone means plus 18.
Let's also establish some quick game build terms. A demo is part of the game to give players a taste of what the full game might be like. It's a demonstration.
Yeah. Something that's not enough developers are doing.
Beta builds are an early test build meant for play testing and getting feedback. This can be part of the game or the entire game.
Yeah.
They're sometimes called alpha builds.
Alpha builds? No. Wait, what? No. Alpha builds and beta builds are different thing. Sort of. Similar but different. Like alpha is before beta, obviously. Like you have alpha build, which will be, let's say, not quite complete at all. Beta build will have more completion to it. But whatever.
A vertical slice.
A what?
It's a small segment of game meant to show off the main parts of the game as a whole, such as an iconic scene.
Okay. Never heard of that one.
Games are pieces of software, so we use engines to create them and distribute them. You build your VN in a piece of software, let the software compile the final product, and then you publish the build elsewhere.
Alright.
For the sake of simplicity, we won't discuss making your own engines at that point.
Let's not, yes.
At that point, you're an engine developer, rather than a game developer, and probably don't need this guide.
Rimia's expressions, nighttime, call music, happy clock, logo file. Okay.
Games have a thing called scope, which comprises the entire game. All the audio, art, scenes, characters, and more are part of the scope.
Now that I think about it, I should have made... Actually, I can make this later as well in the video. Again, the audio stuff. I could have made it louder for me myself here. Now I will not change that for...
Scope is one of the biggest killers of games. If the scope is too large and not managed, it can drag out development for years or forever!
On the other hand, sadly there are people out there who want that scope to be large so they can develop it forever, I feel like. Yeah. Technically what I'm thinking about is not a visual novel. But there is someone out there like that. Yeah. Anywho.
A game with large scope is harder to complete than one with a smaller scope. But how do you actually nail down the scope? Look at the amount of characters and scenes you have. Do each of those characters need full sprites? Do I need to swap PGs this many times?
Oh, you know what? Speaking of what we were talking about, the games that use the what is it called? There is that game that can create you like sort of, like, let's say sort of 3D anime characters, right? And people use that game to get it into what is it called? I'll not remember now. But what I'm getting at is there are games which make way too many like changes of perspective, or yeah, how you see basically the character in front of you. Some of them are, yeah, I'll be honest, this is especially a case with the plus 18 games. And by that I mean indie games as well. Plus 18 indie games. They change the angle of character like every line of the dialogue, and it's so annoying. Anyway.
For romance games especially, the scope can balloon extremely quickly. Ever to almost double your scope? If every love interest needs their own sprite, outfit changes,
Outfit changes, I mean, that doesn't happen that often.
Multiple CGs and PGs, you can see how that adds up quickly. That's why you rarely see indie VNs have 5+ love interests.
I guess.
Not to mention that with multiple routes and endings, you have to do even more playtesting, and generally you have less polish on the game overall. It's much easier to polish something small. A game's polish is the overall quality of it. No translation to Polish language, obviously. How well does it all fit together? Is it bug-free? Polishing game is getting rid of the rough edges.
I mean, technically, if you say polishing game, it might also mean making it in Polish language. No, honestly, don't. Have I ever... I did mention it for sure, but I actually don't like games with Polish language. I don't even play games in Polish in general. Yeah.
Games with smaller scopes, as in small games, are much easier to make memorable experiences because your focus is on a smaller section rather than spread out. Keep track of your game scope by making asset lists and tracking what you need. Because games are pieces of software, they have versions attached to them. Right now we're reading version 1.0 of this game.
True. I guess. Wait, is there more? Did you... Oh, you did update it, so... Oh, freak. So there might be a version 1.1 or something, if you did update this. Whoops. I have not looked. Whoops.
Ren'Py is keeping track of that with a variable that I can change in a different file, which will update the version number everywhere. Numbering our builds helps us keep track of what came out when. It can also help with version control, which is a system for tracking changes in your code.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I get it.
Tracking changes is great if you're working with a team and you have multiple people touching the code.
Okay.
But it can also help with reverting what the changes and having backups of code.
Got it.
Git is the most popular form of version control and backup management. It can take a bit of a setup for new users to understand GitHub, but it's well worth the effort. If you work with team members, you'll want some easy way for everyone to be able to access the code. Even if you're not, you need to have a plan in place for backing up the files. Let's move on for now, but be warned, back up your games!
Yeah. Just like with everything, to be fair. Game jams!
Game jams are a big part of modern indie game dev culture.
True.
And that's very much true for visual novels as well. At any given time, there is almost always at least one visual novel-centric jam being run.
I don't know if one is being run right now, but There was one not so long ago, yeah.
A game jam is an event, typically online, where developers have a limited amount of time to make a game. This can have a variety of rules such as don't use pre-made assets, or games must be winter-themed.
Alright.
Game jams can even be really long or really short. Loot and Dare is one of the most popular game jams, and in its classic format you only have 48 hours to make game using their team.
True.
For visual novels, we have a variety of them held annually, with the 2 longest running ones being NaNoWriMo
I know that one.
in March and Sanofes in summer.
I don't recognize this one, not gonna lie.
All you have to do is make a visual novel in time period. Simple, right?
Probably not.
For visual novel jams like Otome Jam
Not my scene.
and Winter Jam, the goal is to make a VN with their teams. Make an Otome game or a winter-themed VN in a month.
I think I've seen the winter one, or maybe even played something for the winter one. I definitely play for something for Valentine's as well.
Most game jams are hosted on itch.io. You can always find a ton of jams going on there for games in general.
Yeah.
You can also find a committee-organized list of visual novel-specific jams on the V&F Wiki. Game jams.
Okay, wait a second. Let's see if anything is going now. Wow, it takes its time to load. Love is Unconventional Jam. Toxic Yuri VN Jam. And I'm looking at June. Alright. Whoa, that calendar is cranky. Yeah, it's not very, like, super cooperative. Anywho.
Game jams are a great way to get into game dev, as they force you to tighten the game's scope down. As I said before, the difference between a manageable scope and a large scope is night and day. They also require you to make something playable with a deadline that's not self-imposed, which is very important discipline to learn. I totally recommend looking into game jams if you want to get started making VNs.
No. But I want to play them. Releasing visual novels. Go.
Once you actually finish a VN, come back here and read this section.
Oi!
I'm kidding. Finishing a VN is a great accomplishment. You made something playable. But what do you do with it afterwards? Sadly for most of us, we're not able to go to Copycat and sell CDs of our VNs. Instead, we distribute them on gaming platforms. Our 2 main ones are Steam and itch.io.
True. As expected. I guess, it was a long time ago. But there were quite a few on Desura. Yeah. Some of you probably don't even know what Desura was. I like Desura, yeah. It's, in a way, a shame that it got, shut down.
First, you'll want to actually build the game. In some engines like Ren'Py, that's as easy as pressing build distributions, checking the info, and letting it compile everything for you. The excess it generates, if you're building for Windows, are your actual finished game. That's what you'll be distributing. Now that you have that, make an itch.io account.
Surprise, I actually have one, haha.
itch.io is a haven for indie games across the world. It's free and incredibly easy to use.
Yeah, true. I guess on Steam you have to pay $100, right?
Take some time to search around on it before uploading your game there. It's free to host games on itch, as opposed to sites like Steam.
Yeah, but if you're selling a game on Steam, after you actually make, like, some threshold, I don't exactly know what the threshold is, you get that $100 back, right?
Steam expects you to be a company when submitting to them, so their process is much more lengthy. If you want to publish your game on Steam, expect to pay $100 fee.
I knew that,
and several weeks worth of waiting for them to look over your tax, banking, and identification records.
Okay. I didn't know that one.
After that, it's more steps to get your game actually released on Steam, which I won't go into here, but someone else has. Check out the VND Wiki article on uploading to Steam.
I totally will read that later. Whoa. Okay, seems like there is a lot, and like maybe initially the article is not that lengthy, but there is a lot of clicks to some other sections. I might read this later, because this is actually kind of interesting. I might not be making games, but I would like to have that knowledge. I feel like, especially since I play games, I should know a little bit at least about what it's like to get the game on Steam and so on. Yeah, I'll probably forget like 19% of that, but still.
Visual novels don't typically need much maintenance, but you may have to update your game afterwards.
Yeah.
Ever spot a typo right after posting?
Maybe not, but the people who read through them will probably spot them. I mean, I did spot some stuff. Like over here! Not typos maybe, but the fact that the text gets out of the box. I mean, technically it's not out of the box, but it gets onto the little purple element of the box. And, well, I would say it's getting out of the box. Heck, I would go even further. Like, if you look at the box at the top in the corners, right, there is the little thingy as well. I would say going past the beginning of the thingy is going out of box, sort of. I'm a pain, I know. Maybe moving the whole thing a little bit to the left would be a good thing. Because there is plenty of space between the thingies on the left and the name of our character over here. So anyway.
This is where version control and keeping backups comes in handy. Don't throw away your game after finishing it.
Yeah.
The great thing about software is that they can evolve, as opposed to something like novels that typically aren't changed after release. If you see something wrong in your game after launch, you can change that.
Yeah.
You can even release demos, make extended cuts, remake games.
I don't like remakes, man.
And more. Games don't have to be static, never to be touched after release.
I maybe not when it comes to visual novels. Because you literally could get, like, let's say you made a game without anyone, like you did it solo. But let's say at some point you got an artist, right? Got in touch with artists or whatever, you decide to cooperate. If you get a completely new backgrounds, completely new character designs and so on, boom, do a remake. I'm fine with that. What I don't like is the remakes of the big games. Yeah, I really don't like that. Do not know why. Like, I feel like, especially with the big companies, remakes to me seems like trying to basically jump at the cash. And that's it. And in most of the cases, I feel like remakes are sort of mostly not good. Like, they work worse than the old games. Anyway. I guess also with the remakes, they aren't made by people who, again, touching on the subject of big, like, companies and so on, but they are not being made by the same people. So it sort of doesn't have that same soul. If that makes sense. Meanwhile, like with visual novels, especially with indies, it will be the same, made by the same person, right? At least at the base. even if there is new person working on arts, for example, or maybe on sound as well, and so on. There is that one person who keep the thing as basically the same project, but improved in certain departments. Anyway.
Of course, it's also fine to release something and be done with it.
True.
Your release is yours. Choose the best plan for you.
For yeah, I mean, updating it, like typos and so on, important. Marketing.
You should just go read this blog.
And the blog is arimiadev.com. Ladies and gents, if you want to go there. Once again, arimiadev.com. Wait, really? That's it? Okay. Okay. That's hilarious. Way to end it. Okay. Well, we went through all the sections. Yeah, I guess there is nothing else that I can do. It's just main menu. I don't think there is any other ending here. That was lovely, actually. Yeah, I like that. Ladies and gents, this little game that teaches us a little bit of basics about visual novels, linked in the description as always. From there you can go to itch.io, and you can also technically go to the devs page like that. And over there is the link to arimiadev.com. Yeah, if you know, typing it yourself is too much work. Which it can be sometimes, yeah. I see there are some free-to-use battle action CGs over here. 3 packs. Interesting. They all look nice. I mean, from what I see at least in the screenshots. The first one has 35 cuts. Okay. Some arrows, some swords. The second one has 50. Ooh. Oh, this one is neat. With some kind of crystal and here with multiple crystals. Okay. Electro, a little bit. Alright. Wow. They look fantastic. Alright. If someone decided after this they want to make visual novels, I guess go to Arimia as well. And you have some free packs with CGs and so on over there. To be fair, as far as I'm concerned, you can find this stuff on each as well. Browse. Is it game development? And then if we were to go free, for example, I mean, there is some free stuff over here, yeah. There is over 15,000 supposed tools. Okay, we also have assets. And let's go... price free. Okay, there is 38,000 assets on itch.io alone. I'm not saying, you know, specifically for visual novels, but in general, but you could find something here for sure. You know what? I said in the past that maybe, you know, if someone is making VNs and they are like one person army, it's sort of alright. I mean, it's still sort of alright to use AI for stuff, right? But you know what? I'm still not sure if it is, honestly. I'm sort of battling myself, basically. But Seeing that there is 38,000 assets for free on each, I take back, you know what? It's not alright to use AI. No. There is clearly enough resources out there provided by people. Wow. What if I go select? Oh, there is a tag. Is there a tag visual novel? Visual novel. Okay. Over 1,000. To be precise. 1,224 results in the assets for visual novels for free. And you have anime backgrounds, female character sprites, free background music for visual novels, Ren'Py hypercard framework. I'm not sure exactly what this is about, but seems good. Male character sprites, free assets, user interface, disco framework. Oh, okay, I need to see what this is. Oh, okay, so disco framework seems to be the kind of thing that that was in that game Rimia. So basically, like part of the screen is separated, like in half, let's say, and on one half you have a character, on the other half you have the text from top to bottom. Alright, yeah. This game made me like look into this properly. And again, in the past I might have been, alright, I mean, you are a one-man army, fine. It's sort of fine if you used AI for this, but now I think I'm changing my mind over here. There is enough free assets for you to make visual novel. Yeah, absolutely. Not to mention enough to make any type of other game, I guess. Like RPG for sure as well. Because if we get rid of the tag for visual novel, again, 38,000 free assets. Dude, itch.io is such a huge place. It's crazy how huge that place is. Wow, they even have like a job board. Okay. Wow, okay, that's surprising. Someone actually big is over here even promoting or more like giving a job offer. Wow. 3D artist in deep silver. Okay. That's crazy. Pixel artist, map designer, gaming texture assistant, teaching professor. Wait. University is... Dude. Each that here is amazing. I know it's like, given the amount of stuff over here, it's a pain. And I'm just browsing through games. Like every evening, sort of new releases. Looking if I see something that would interest me and so on. But this place is a monstrosity in a positive way. Again, you know what? If you want to make games, just go to each and use the resources over there. There are free resources, like, and I bet the paid ones are not even that expensive as well, I would say. Okay, let's see, $15 or... Nah, it's or less. Okay, I kinda wanted to see 15 or more, not gonna lie. Is there an option to see... No, damn it. What if I click paid? Okay, so paid is 37,781 results. Alright. What if we go on sale right now? Okay, oh, over 4,000 are on sale. Dude. Can I sort it by I can't sort it by price, can I? Oh yeah, technically, even if I look, it doesn't show me the price on... okay. I guess you need to enter inside of the thing that you want to have a look at to know the price. Alright. You know what? That was fantastic. Fantastic. A clown girl teaches how to make VNs. That was fantastic. I might have had some questions which were maybe a bit deeper into the whole thing. But I think, like, at least when it comes to basics, it probably explained it well, quite well. Again, my plan is definitely, you know, not into like making games or anything. For the scary part is I might actually want to learn how to program in Ren'Py. I don't know why, but I might. I wonder if it's because, you know, when I was in high school, I learned the not so lovely language known as Pascal. When I was at uni, I guess I had Java, but Java freaking sucked. But before that, C++. Oh, yes. C++, Java. I could not do a thing in Java for like. C++ was alright, I guess. I mean, I know it's not considered programming, I guess, but, you know, I know, like, HTML, I guess, a little bit as well. So maybe because of that, I'm kind of tempted to learn, you know, how to at least program the game in Ren'Py. But I don't necessarily want to create a game, if that makes sense. And to be fair, mostly it's because I don't have an idea for a game. Yeah. Anyway, that was fantastic. I absolutely think, like, creating this little, let's say, guide in a form of a visual novel was a fantastic idea. It was apparently a submission to a clown jam, by the way. Clown jam, which had, let me see. Oh, it's not finished yet. It's until the end of the May. Okay. Which had only 4 entries for. Okay. Surprising. One is a visual novel. Second one is a physical game. What? Oh, it's a role-playing game. Okay. Alright, and the third one is an RPG. And the fourth one is the one we played, so a little VN slash a little guide in a form of visual novel. I guess you can call it that. Yeah, I think it was fantastic. And if you watch this video, and if you think, I want to make a visual novel, do it. Absolutely do it. And when you're done, tell me about it. Yeah, I would totally play something. If you told me, hey, you convinced me to make visual novel, or thanks to your video, I thought I will do a visual novel. I'll play that. I totally will. Okay? Alright. I think I'm gonna end the recording for now. Or by that, I should be saying I will end the video right now. Once again, the game is linked in the description. Go check out other stuff from Arimia. But again, you know, from Arimia's itch.io, you need to jump also to Crystal Gameworks, which is like the actual game dev account, and there you will have all the games. Technically, weren't some of your games on Steam as well? I think I've seen some of them, or at least... Wasn't this one on there? Crimson Waves? Yes. Okay, so for example, Crimson Waves on the Emerald Sea, that's from Crystal Gameworks. It's on Steam as well. And there is multiple other games. That Which Brings Us, Alice in Stardom, Paths Taken, Image of Perfection, Enemort Risks, The Witch in the Forest, A Pinch of Magic, Asterism, Crimson Waves on the Emerald Sea, Canvas Manager, yeah. Oh, it's yours, okay. And I see there is some upcoming as well. Mary's Magical Deliveries, Lost Loon, The Foreign Gods Eternal Night, Crimson Waves of the Emerald Sea, Amaranthine Moon, Asphodelium, and so on. Man, I freaking love indie devs. They're the best. Okay, let's end it. Consider liking the video. And if you're new around, consider subscribing. We'll obviously be playing more games. And again, if you ever made a game, drop the title in the comments. Yeah, I would love to check that out. You know what, but maybe not drop just the title, drop also the name you use as the developer, basically. Yeah. Because there are instances where, you know, the title of the game, you know, is the same as the title of the game made by someone else. It happens sometimes. So yeah, drop the name of the game and your name used on as the dev on the platform you put it on, Steam, itch, or whatever. I would definitely love to have a look in this situation, and maybe even play it on YouTube. Who knows? And of course, well, if you decide to make a game in the future, you know, remember to come back and drop that info as well. With that being said, let's end the video, and tomorrow we'll play something else. Wow, this is almost 2 hours long. Oof. Alright, I'm out. Have a wonderful day. And if you decide to jump into the developing way of games, good luck with that. And I'm out. Bye bye.